Today, I'm building my own working motorized Lego robots, and then putting them to the test to see if they can actually help me do practical, everyday things. So my plan for these Lego robots is to actually have motorized moving robot arms, with a giant box that acts as our base with all the cables, motors, and battery boxes inside. And we can have our two arms coming out of the box, with the one on the bottom moving from side to side, and the one on the top moving up and down.
So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take a battery box and I'm going to attach two motors to it. And so then when you turn it on, as you can see, both motors spin. So basically what I'm trying to achieve here is to have one motor on the bottom here that is going to turn the arm like to the side like this, and then another motor on the top that can turn the second part of the arm up and down. So the only slight problem we have here is that these go way too fast and you can't actually control them, but that is why Lego has this piece where you can actually take this off and attach this to the battery box, and then when you attach both of the motors to the battery box, you can actually turn this on, and then you can control the motors with your remote control. So basically you can like control the speed and which way it's going to turn, and then when you want to turn it off, then you can press on this red button and it works for both of them. So then with the other one you can do the same thing, and yeah, so that solves our problem. So I'm building the prototype model. This is not going to be the actual build, just so you understand a little more what I'm trying to achieve here. So as you can see with our little prototype with a remote control, we can hold this, and with this knob we can turn it, and our upper arm piece is going to go up and down, as you can see. And then if you want to stop, we can just press on the red button. And for the bottom, it's the same thing. We want to just turn the different knob, and it will turn like this. And to make it stop, we press the red button. So I know this is kind of chaotic, but we're going to work on it and make it much better, and it's going to work. So there are still some major flaws in our prototype model, like for example that the arms still turn a little bit too fast, which is why I built a worm gear mechanism. So basically how this works is you're going to have this little twirly thing attached to a motor and a gear attached to that twirly thing. And so basically what's going to happen is when you turn on the motor, the gear is going to go way slower than the actual motor default speed. So you can actually have the arm attached to here, and it's going to go way slower than it would. So without further ado, let's get to the build. So to start off, I'm going to make a base of black plates where we can hide in some of our mechanisms. So we simply need to attach our mechanisms into our base, and then as we continue building up, it's all going to be hidden inside. And then we can add a top to our build with little holes for the places we need to access. And after some more tiling off, the base of our build is finally complete. But now let's put this to the side and work on our first arm. So we're going to start off with a base of plates, then add some bricks just to finish it off with another layer of plates. And this thing is just sturdy like a thick piece of metal that isn't hot. Now we can finally attach our first arm to the base. Now it is a little wobbly, but it's fine. Okay, so we can basically start our first arm right now. There's just one problem. We can't have this motor just dangling out to the side because it's too heavy and it's gonna cause this to like fall to the side. So we're gonna have to find a way to put it in the middle, and that's gonna complicate things. So I think a way we can do this is by using pins. We could technically attach the motor here to this Technic bar, and then we could try to align everything else. So we could then attach our second bar here, and as you can see, this will be hanging right in the middle of our first arm. So here we could technically add a smaller gear, and with some modifications, this could work. But now, due to the heavy motor actually being in the arm, this thing is even more wobbly than before. Simple solution for this would be to attach this Technic bar right here. Now, as you can see, when we attach our arm, this is way less wobbly.
And here we have our fully functional Lego robot. So the first thing I want this robot to be able to do is help me eat my cereal. So I would basically have my bowl of cereal here, and I could use the remote control to make our first arm turn and align our bowl of cereal. And then I could move the second arm and make it go down, take the cereal from the bowl, and then come back up and put it into my mouth.
Now all we need to do is make it prettier, attach the spoon, and we are ready to test. Now, how am I going to build a spoon out of Lego? Well, with the helicopter windshield, of course. Simple, easy, fast, works perfectly. Now, all I need to do is figure out how to attach it to our robot. And our first Lego robot is finally complete. How cool is that? And this little guy right here is the AIM. Alright, so here I am with my Wadsworth Electricity t-shirt. I've got my bowl of cereal, I've got my robot, and all we gotta do is pour just a little bit of milk in there. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna turn on our machine, and it's time to test out and see if I can eat cereal only using this remote control. So, as you can see, this thing is super cool. You can move it, it works super well. And so we need to align the bowl of cereal, and look at that, look at that. It goes inside. Yes, 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 yes. We have one cereal in our spoon, and it's time to turn it. And just like that, I can eat cereal only using this remote control. This robot actually works. I am so happy. This is super cool. So for my second Lego robot, I'd actually like one that could put lipstick on my lips. And since that only really consists of changing the end of the robot so it fits the lipstick, my challenge for this one is to build a Lego mirror. So my idea to build a mirror is that I can actually take a black piece like this and then add another clear piece on top of it, which makes it so that you can see the reflection. And here, as you can see, you should normally be able to see my phone and my studio light. So I know it looks weird, but hey, it works. So now it's time to figure out how we're going to attach this to our robot. And after not thinking so long, I came up with the idea of attaching it to a tire. And this is super rubbery, so there's no way it's going to come off. And then we can attach the inside of the wheel to the back of the tire and add in a Technic axle, and then this will attach really easily.
And here it is, our completed Lego lipstick robot. It's time to test it out. Alright everybody, so here I am. I've got my mirror, my robot, my remote control, my Wadsworth electric t-shirt, and I guess I'm ready to put lipstick on my lips with a Lego robot. So I just gotta turn on my robot, and it's time to do this. I just have to look in the mirror and try to get it as clean as possible. Oh no. Well, that didn't really go as planned. Well, I'm not so sure that I'll be doing this again anytime soon. Which means we can finally start our third and final Lego robot. And this one will be the most important of all, because it's gonna help me do something I do every single day. Brush my teeth. And the real challenge for this one is that I need to make this toothbrush electric and vibrate just using Lego pieces. So when I began, I did not know where to start at all. I mean, how am I supposed to build a toothbrush that can actually vibrate only using Lego? But then it hit me. When you connect two of these gears together, they both spin in the opposite direction. Which means, if we connect these little pieces that stick out, one facing upwards and one facing downwards, no matter what happens, when we turn these, one will be facing up and one down. So if we can connect this to our Lego Technic bar, we can spin our gears and it'll give us this teeter-totter-esque up-down movement. So if we connect this whole thing to our motor and we make it spin pretty fast, as you can see, our Technic bar will get this vibrating motion. So we can easily attach our toothbrush using tires, and as you can see, when we turn on our motor, our toothbrush vibrates just like an electric toothbrush. So now all we've got to do is figure out how to attach our mechanism to the side here, and then make it just a little bit more sturdy, and then we're ready to test. And here it is, our third and final Lego robot. And after a couple hours of work, the mechanism is complete, and it does look a little bit weirder than the other ones, but that's because the mechanism is also a lot more complicated. But so now it's time to test it out. So it's time to see if I could just use this robot when I need to brush my teeth every day. And the mechanism is actually really cool. I opted for a more technical route, and as you can see, if we're gonna turn on our robot, the whole thing works super well, and the toothbrush vibrates super nicely. So we can just bring it over here. So I've got to put some toothpaste onto our toothbrush, and I'm sort of hoping it's not just gonna break while I'm brushing my teeth, but I guess we'll see. And I do have my Wadsworth Electric t-shirt, so I guess it's time to test this out. We should just turn it on, and then I guess I should put my mouth onto it. And when you want to turn it around, we can just turn it around like this. It's super easy. So our toothbrush robot actually did work really well, and I'm glad it didn't just break on me while I was using it, but I think my teeth are actually pretty clean. I mean, it would obviously be wiser to invest in an actual electric toothbrush, but I think this robot did work the best out of the 3 we tested today. So if I had to rank the 3 robots that we tested today, it would be a 9 out of 10 for the electric toothbrush robot, a 1 out of 10 for the lipstick robot, and a 6 out of 10 for the cereal robot, you know, because of the lack of efficiency. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, but it would really help me out if you'd consider subscribing to the channel, because I did put a lot of time and effort into this video. But be sure to check out my last video where I built a giant film noir detective's office building for this guy. You should also stay tuned for my next super exciting Star Wars video. But with that being said, peace out and see you in the next one.